If you want to get to know people better, here's the challenge. Can you identify how you met every one of your LinkedIn contacts? If you go out there and look, I mean, this was a huge problem in the beginning, right? Because I've got thousands of LinkedIn connections, and I was really frustrated a couple of years ago because I was like, man, I would like to be able to track that I met this person at this training seminar, or I met this person because they came to a keynote that I delivered, or I met this person through a friend. Like, I really wanted to be able to keep track of that because that's your lead in to a conversation. Assume nobody remembers you, especially if you're talking to me. If you're talking to me, you should assume that I don't remember how we met, because that's just a statement of fact. And
I'm not even going to ask if you remember how we met, Julie.
I do remember how we met. Because, and of course, that's what you'd say to everybody, right? But it's the way to make you look like you're super on top of things. And the tool that I used to use for that was LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And of course, I'm still a fan of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. But before you had to pay for Sales Navigator, you used to be able to tag people for free in LinkedIn. You can't do that anymore. I started using a tool called DuckSoup, which I've mentioned before on our show. So DuckSoup is another cool tool to check out. It basically can function as an extension of LinkedIn for you, where you can keep track of notes and tag your contacts in DuckSoup. And of course, if you want to take that a step farther, I mentioned this on an earlier episode, which was Crystal, crystalknows.com. And Crystal Knows is awesome because it lets you actually see information about each one of the people on your LinkedIn search. So you can look at somebody on LinkedIn, and then you can see, like, what's their personality like are they most likely to respond to your message? Should you call them or should you email them? So it's a pretty cool little tool to play around with. So that's how you can get to know them better.
That's really awesome. In fact, I was just in my LinkedIn yesterday doing a search. Well, first I went to my SpeakerFlow CRM because I'm planning a trip to Phoenix, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna come in a day early, and one of two things is gonna happen. Either I'm just gonna enjoy soaking up some much needed sunshine, or maybe there's a prospect or a client out there that would be nice to check in on. So I went to my CRM and I did that search for the area, but then I went to LinkedIn, and I shouldn't have been surprised, but you can do the search by the state, and that was really eye-opening because there were people that weren't in my CRM, but that I'm connected with on LinkedIn. And so that was just another reason to reach out. Like, feel that, like, hey, I'm going to be in your area. But in this case, it was actually true. And
you'd already bought a ticket, not like you were waiting to buy the ticket when you saw whether or not they were going to be there. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, I actually am going. So that was just another way. But I had to really do a lot of thinking about, well, how do I know them? And a couple people I remembered because they were super memorable. I met this woman who runs a spa when I was speaking at a spa conference. So that was great. But most people, I couldn't really remember what that initial connection point was. So that DuckSoup, I admit I've heard you say that one a few times, and I should probably get on that.
Yeah, I think it's really, at a bare minimum, we just need to keep track of how we meet people.
Yeah.
I mean, that is your easy Oh, you know what? I don't know if you remember or not, but we met at such and such event, and they're going to be like, oh, of course. Yeah.